And gentlemen, allow me to tell you about my book, Keep Walking, and my great publishing company, Wild Dreams Publishing. Can we get a little clap for that? Yeah. If you don't know about Wild Dreams Publishing, worry not. They are the good people down under, all the way from Australia. Wild Dreams Publishing. Now, this book, Keep Walking, I wrote from my soul. And I'm going to talk just briefly, and I'm going to let them talk, because these two people have read the book, and I'm going to hear from fans about what the book is like. Now, remember this. When reading Keep Walking, it is an emotional roller coaster. I apologize in advance. Some will call it a autobiographical self-help book. Okay, an autobiographical self-help book. Every chapter takes you up. This destroys your heart with my story. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And then it lifts you back up after every chapter. And then it's like it's like a Tyler Perry play. It's just over. You're just gonna be like, oh, yay! It's gonna be way too much. I'm just telling you right now, way too much. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. But it is a polite book in which my parents did the best they could with what they had. The book is so real. Now, it's not really like graphic content. And of course, I'm a very respectable person, so I obviously don't disrespect my parents in the book. So if you're looking for that kind of thing, sorry, you have to go more to Jerry Springer for something like that. But I actually had to write, my dad is in jail. I had to actually write him in jail and go visit him and ask his permission to reveal some of the things that I revealed in the book. Right. And his was crazy about it. Not only did he was like, I let him read the book first. He was floored by the content in a great way. It was amazing. And I'll come back and tell you what my dad thought about the book, but I actually dedicated the book to him from our conversation and all the great things that we have inside of there. I'm telling you, the book is crazy, but it is powerful. There's 13 chapters in the book. There's 13 steps in which I give to you. One of the steps are secret. There is a secret thing inside this book. It's not, I give you the 13 steps of dominance, how I dominated my reality, how I took myself how I got myself out of a trash can. I'm going to come back and tell you that. I don't want to tell you too many details. I'm going to have them tell you, and then I'll tell you why. This is going to be an exclusive video. I'm going to tell you why I wrote each part in the book and why I wrote the chapter. So you're actually going to hear. Everybody always wonders, man, okay, what was going on there? So I'm going to have them tell you some highlights that they remember about the book. And then I'm going to jump in and tell you what I was going through at that time and what I was going through writing it. Because every time I wrote a chapter, it literally drained me. And I would have to recover and stop writing, pour into me, and then pour out some more. So let's see if we can get started with this here. Great book. Tell my story. It tells my story. But the book is not about me. It's actually about you. I somehow weave around with descriptive words how to find yourself in the pain that I went through. So who's first? Who wants to talk about the book? You?
There was a part that I remember.
Oh, you got to talk louder than that.
There's a part that I remember. Put out my teacher voice. There's a part that I remember where you were either at your mother's house or your father's mother's house, and I believe she had given you some money, and I think it was going to be the last time that you saw her.
Yeah.
She told, you thought she was staying, and...
Yeah, and it's chapter 2. It's called Removing the Impossible. Well, actually, do you have a question there? Do you have a question? Or what would you like for me to do? Would you like me to tell you what happened? Or would you like me to tell you why I put that in the book?
Yes. Why the second part? Why you put that in the book? Okay.
I put it in the, and you want to know what happened, don't you? All right. So I put that chapter in the book. That's chapter 2. So the book starts off with that. I'm so sorry. It starts off with the last conversation I had with my mom, and it wasn't money. Okay. She dropped me off at my mother's house. Okay. She dropped me off at my mother's house, and then my mother which is my grandmother, right? My paternal grandmother on my dad's side. She says, son, you know I'm on drugs, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you want me to stop doing drugs, tell me right now and I'll stop.
Yeah.
Now, I put this in the book, and I titled this chapter Removing the Impossible, because I thought as a 6-year-old kid it's impossible to get off drugs. So I told her, you can keep doing drugs. Because I didn't want to make my mom unhappy. Right? And as an adult, I put that in the book because I wanted people to understand that if I would have understood that nothing is impossible as a 6-year-old, my mom's life may be different. Remember, the preface of this book, or the thesis of this book, is very simple. My parents did the best they could with what they had. My mom was doing the best she could with what she had, and she appealed to who she loved the most to help her get off drugs. But since my mind said it's impossible, my words followed. And to this day, to this day, that was 1987. No, actually, so I got my age wrong. I was 5 years old. So to this day, that was 1986. So that was the conversation at 5 years old. Current day, she is still suffering from the same thing she had in 1986. Okay? Because I believed it was impossible for her to get off drugs. Now, is that fair for me to pull out the weight on myself? No. And does she have some responsibility? Yes. But remember, we all do the best we can with what we have. And this is my mom is a great person. The people, I don't get to see her. The people who know her would tell you no different. She is a fantastic person. The few times I get to talk to her, it's always fantastic conversations. Addiction is a real thing. It is a real thing that you, audience, or me, we don't get to be insensitive about addiction. It's a real thing. It's real, right? We don't get to beat anyone up because they're addicted to drugs, because, man, it gets in your brain, and the more you don't do it, is the more it puts your body through convulsions. It's almost killing your life becomes saving your life when it comes to withdrawals. I have to kill myself in order to save myself, right? Type thing. But I put that as an adult in my book because I wanted all of you to know that nothing's impossible. And what would be the different possibilities of my life growing up or her life growing up, even though she was already grown, but we could have had so many different possibilities. There's an infinite number of possibilities that could have happened. But since I didn't have any awareness that you can get off of drugs, nor did she at that time, then that was our reality. And later on, like right after that story, I start bringing up Roger Bannister, the guy who broke the 4-minute mile. Thomas Edison, who invented the light bulb, or at least the incandescent part of it. There's actually a black man who actually had a lot to do with the light bulb. Okay, just read. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Okay, and I bring up some other people. Like it's crazy. The telephone. They didn't think it was impossible, so they changed the course of the world. And for you, when you stop thinking things are impossible, you too will change the course of the world. So that's why that's in there.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes.
All right. That's why it's in there. That was the last conversation. Well, actually, I've had 2 more conversations with my mom after that, but pretty cool. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My part was...
Oh, have y'all shared this video to all your groups? Surely you have. Surely. You shared it?
Yeah.
Have you shared it to your groups?
I have been.
Okay. What about y'all out there? Come on. I'm giving you the book, right? I'm telling you that, about my story, the book, Keep Walking, 13 Steps to Dominance with Wild Dreams Publishing, major publishing company. Surely you want to share this out and get some people help. Like,
Yes.
don't you like to? I like to read books and know why the author wrote it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
Look.
all right. Let's go. All right, so let's go. Let's go.
I have been okay. There was one part in the book that has stood out to me since I've read it, and it's your 10-minute days.
Okay.
I have actually attempted these 10-minute days, and it's hard for me to do it.
Yes.
My thing is, as a child, how did you come up with this concept? I read it, but I want to hear from your voice. How did you come up with the concept, and how did you stay consistent with creating 10-minute days?
I still do it to this day. And I'm not sure how I came up with it. I'll tell you why I came up with it. Okay, how? I don't know. It's an original concept. I didn't read this in a book. And thank you to all you've shared it. I didn't read this in a book because, right, I just didn't. I forget what chapter. It's like chapter 9 or 10. You have to go find it for yourself. It's called 10 Minutes at a Time.
Yes.
It's called 10 Minutes at a Time. Now, here's the concept of 10 minutes at a time. You got somebody get your calculator. Someone get your calculator, okay? This is the concept. Now, before I get to the concept, let me tell you why, not how. How didn't come from me. I can't take credit for how I came up with this insane thought process at 6 to 8, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I can't tell you this. I knew I wanted to die. I'm homeless, I'm hot, I'm homeless, I'm cold, or I'm homeless and mosquitoes are biting me, or I'm homeless and I'm hungry as hell, or I just feel bad because adults want to talk about me and not help me. Or I've got to put myself through school and my teeth are yellow and my hair is nappy and I'm ashy and I smell like trash can. And kids are cruel. They're cruel. I mean, they are. They're right.
Yeah.
They're cruel. So I'm getting bullied every day. I don't fit in, and everyone wants to fit in, right? I'm what they call a self-made millionaire, which, thank you for the title. I don't think anyone's self-made, but thank you. And I don't fit in anywhere on purpose, but at the heart of all of us, when I go home, I would like to fit in with someone, right? We all want to fit in, and I don't fit in. And it kills me. It's bothering the crap out of me. And I want to die. And I go through I want to commit suicide. I drink. I'm somewhere. I don't want to say whose house because I don't want to get them in trouble. Right? But I go somewhere because this is the story is facts, right? I don't want to get people in trouble. I don't get people in trouble. I go to someone's house and I drink palm olive. Okay, you know the soap? Okay, I drink palm olive. I drink palm olive, and I try to commit suicide because the bubbles are going to get in my lungs, right? And they wash my mouth out. Okay, I really don't want to get it. I'm trying to get it by each other. I'm trying to get it by each other. Okay. And it dawns on me that I really can't stand living. So as I'm processing information with my little, less than 10-year-old self, they say, well, all you got to do is see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, I can't see no light at the end of the tunnel, right? I'm cussing in my head at least. I don't know if I did that loud. I don't remember that. But I'm telling you, I'm hot. Because I can't see no light in it. What tunnel, what light, and F this light. I'm all that, right? I'm angry, homeless kid. And you got something to say about seeing light in the tunnel. Hell, won't you take care of me, right? Or something like that, right? I'm going through all these things in my head. And it dawns on me. I can't see 10 minutes away. I can't see 24 hours because I don't know how I'm going to eat tonight. I'm tired. I'm angry. Nobody loves me. How you going to love me? And my own parents don't love me. If you've never been through this, you just won't get it. You just will not understand. And it dawns on me. Boom. But I can't see 10 minutes down the road. And if I could just stay alive for 10 minutes, maybe I could do another 10 minutes. And over time, that evolved to, oh, you just hurt my feelings. That's okay. If I could just stay alive for 10 minutes, I get another 10 minutes to start over. Then over time, that evolved to, how about I just stop living 24-hour days and I start living 10-minute days? Now, let me show you the concept in this, okay? It's in the book. I'm going to show you the concept of this book. So, Grace, you got your calculator, right?
Yes.
all of y'all live 24 hours at a time. Not me. To this day, I still don't do this. I live 10 minutes at a time. So where you have one day in 24 hours, Grace, how many 10-minute sections would be in a 24-hour day? If that's 24 hours and it's
60 minutes.
times 60 minutes.
Okay, so that's 1,440 minutes.
1,440 minutes, which equals 144 10-minute sections.
Right.
Okay, process this information real quick. That's 144 10-minute days in one day. People are always asking me, man, how do you do so much? Or, man, why do you keep passing people up? Yeah, because I don't live one day at a time. Every one day you live, it's 144 for me.
Okay.
I have an advantage. Let me tell you how I do it. Let's say you don't like this. Let's say you don't like this video, right? And you get on here right now, you cuss me out, and you hurt my feelings, and you say, you bad person, you should love your parents more, which I haven't even said anything bad about my parents, right? But you hurt my feelings somehow. Instead of me going 24 hours with that pain, I'm just going to hurt me for 10 minutes. And I'm going to say, you know what? All right, I'm over it. And it's going to, you ever had those things, you're over it, to pop back up? Mm-hmm. All right, you understand. So we real people in here.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's 20 minutes now. I'm like, all right, I'm over it. All right, you think you're done and they pop back up?
Yeah.
Okay. And here's my favorite. After 30 minutes, you're like, you know what? And another thing. You understand?
Uh-huh.
You know, somebody cuts you out. You're like, you know what I should have said? I should have went. Right?
And I should have did. Dang it.
So it may take me 90 minutes of intentionality, like just intentionally trying to let this go. But that's 9 days for me. That's 90 minutes for me. 9 days. You get it? 9 days for me. I'm telling you, man, my brain, it feels like 9 full days. 90 minutes. To where you hold on to a problem for 24 hours. You ever met someone at 7 o'clock in the morning that had a bad day? You see them at 12 o'clock, noon, and they say, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? Child, this morning, like this morning? Ain't you past this morning? Right?
Right.
Some of you are still holding on to stuff that happened to you this morning. And you're trying to live a good life, but you keep taking bad moments with you. That's the heart of 10 minutes at a time. Now, there's much more in that chapter, but that's the heart of it. That means no matter how much good I do, no matter how much money I donate, no matter, oh, Antonio, man, people ask me this all the time. Antonio, how you put so much content on the internet? I did that yesterday. What you mean? I just watched that video 10 minutes ago. Bro, that was yesterday, right? You get it? Like that was completely yesterday. That was not today. That was yesterday. Hey, man, you gave $100 million to the homeless people. How long ago? 15 minutes ago. I ain't did nothing today. I spent half my day not doing nothing for nobody. Get it? That's the concept of that one. Good job. Good memory. Good, both of you. Both of you, good job. Okay. Any more?
Yes. There is a portion in your book where you discuss how you had to memorize things.
Yep.
I looked at that as that's something that we need to learn, because in order for you to do that, you had to be extremely focused on what you were learning. How did you like, what was your process for that?
Yeah, so the process was practical, but me being focused was because I was hungry. I need y'all to, I need you to get something. Me being focused was because if I didn't stay in school, I couldn't eat. And that actually covers another chapter. One of the chapters in the book is called I Got Hungry. I dropped out of school. I had failed the 5th and the 6th grade. I'm a school dropout. But I got really, 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 really hungry. And I recognized then school was 2 meals a day for me. So I had to go through the process, forge my mom's signature, put myself through school again. I did it all throughout school until high school. I still remember my school ID. In fact, if you don't believe me, you want to verify this, Galveston, Texas. I felt Wise Intermediate School, Galveston, Texas. Wise, WEIS. My school ID is 12090. I'm not even joking. My locker combination was 347634.
Sir.
I'm not even joking.
Wow.
See?
I'm not even joking. I'm dead serious. Okay, I'm dead serious. And so in 12090, I would strike corporal punishment. And my memory came, or my focus came because I was hungry. My memory came because it was practical. I didn't have any school supplies.
So you have
Just some of this stuff just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like some of this stuff just makes sense. I'm this little kid that doesn't have school supplies. So I would do what you're a school teacher. I would do what all poor kids would do who don't have school supplies. They all do the same thing. They borrow from their friends. I don't care who you are. We borrow from our friends. Okay, right? You go. I would get paper because back then you walk down Walmart and they had like the 6th grade aisle and the 7th grade aisle. You get all those, and you had to have 10 notebooks. I mean, like 10 100 rules of paper. Stuff like that. Like everybody was getting wide rule. I had to write smaller to save my paper. To this day, I still write this big. I'm not even. Man, some of this stuff is practical. I'm telling you. To this day, I write this big because I had to write smaller and put more words in my paper because I didn't have the luxury of writing normal and using another piece of paper. Then about the first 6 weeks, it would always happen. Oh, I'm sorry. In Texas, at least at that time, we were on 6 weeks. I don't know. Is it still 6 weeks now?
Yes.
Okay, still 6 weeks. First 6 weeks, it would always happen. I got no more school supplies. I'm down to one pencil that I had to carve with a knife. If you don't know the struggle, you don't understand. Yeah. If you don't know the struggle, you do not understand, right? I had to absolutely. I'm carving pencils sharpened with a knife. I've got no paper, and I can't borrow because I'm being disruptive. So I had to remember everything my teachers taught me. Every time they would read, I had to use my memory. Today, I don't know if y'all ever seen me. You've never seen me do a keynote with no paper. I can recall, be like, oh yeah, well, chapter 3, section 9, paragraph 4. The mere fact that I know my 12090. I know my DeVry student ID when I first went to school. In 2009, D03. 139692. I'm not lying. 03139692 with a D in front of it. My memory had to be honed in because I didn't have any school supplies. So I would remember when the when a teacher would do something with their hands like this and say, the stars are so big, I would go back in my head and I remember the hand actions and put the words with the actions, and boom. My memory is fantastic because life forced it that way because I was homeless.
Wow.
Straight up. And then the Army did something major, more fantastic with my memory, but that's military intelligence. We'll keep that off this camera. Okay? What else in the book? What else was your favorite part? This is while you think about whatever favorite part. I'm doing this. I have a major publishing company. I love them. They're fantastic. Wild Dreams Publishing. You're more than welcome to go find out about them. Wild Dreams Publishing. And in fact, there should be a link to this video right now if you want. You can get it straight from the publisher right now. The book is Keep Walking: 13 Steps to Dominance. Some will call it an autobiographical self-help book. It really is all about you. I just use my story to tell you about you. In fact, I even say that up front, that this isn't about me. It's about you seeing you through the lens of me. So where I got hungry because I wanted to go back to school, that hunger was something silent that no one else could see but me. Some of you have pain that's so silent that no one else can see but you, but you're not using it as motivation. You're using it to make excuses.
I'm relieving myself.
No. You stay in the fire. You stay in the fire, right? You're using it. It's not right. As a 6-year-old kid, 9-year-old kid. I mean, I'm 54 pounds. Like, I don't want y'all to think, like, don't glamorize my homelessness, because it wasn't glamorous. Like, I'm not talking about couch to couch or sleeping in a car. I'm saying sleeping outside. Like, I understand that if you want to be cold, if you want to be warm in the wintertime, put newspapers in your jacket or whatever you have. Newspapers is actually insulation homeless people use to stay warm. See, if you didn't know that, you don't understand the struggle. I used to drink water. I still do it to this day. That I don't finish my bottle. I keep some in it. It's just a habit now. Like, oh, why you don't keep on? You don't want to backwash it? It has nothing to do with that. I kept in it because I understood that I was going to wake up thirsty. I'm trying to tell y'all the real deal, right? I could tell you so many. I could tell you how that now I'm in a tropical area of, right, explains the cowboy hat, right? I'm in a tropical area of Texas. And I can explain to you how if you find some petroleum jelly or, right, Vaseline, there's another, right? Vaseline, it won't let mosquitoes bite you. I've been real deal homeless, not, glamorized homeless, real deal. I understand. I know what it's like to brush your teeth with the under part of your shirt. I get it. I just absolutely get it. But anyway, so that's that. Anything else in the book?
Oh, that was so much.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff in there. It's from my parents, relationship with my mom, relationship with my dad. And again, if you're just tuning in, they did the best they could with what they had.
That right there, that was the hardest thing for me to grasp. Because you at no point in the book did you ever say anything negative about either one of your parents, whereas someone else with a different mindset would have completely bashed them.
I'm glad you bring it up, because I got family members. Some that may even see this video. And they're buttholes to me. They really are. Because and they pretend they like me, but they don't. I know they don't, right? And I don't have a problem with you, but I know you don't like me, and it doesn't make any sense. And you don't like me because you read the cover of my book but never read it. I actually called out one of my family members for this. You shouldn't talk about your mama that way. I went, well, have you read the book? Well, no, I haven't read it yet. Well, then what are you talking about? Because it was absolutely polite. It was absolutely polite. And then I go down there and they finally read the book and blah, 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 blah. But here's what happened. Family members, not all, but some, don't like me because they secretly feel guilty that they didn't help me when they could have.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I was sent to your house. And I ran away because of your behavior. And to this day, I treat my parents better than you treat them. So you got to be careful when you let people try to control your narrative. You were grown. I showed more adultness than you did, raising myself. Of course I'm not going to talk. It does me no benefit to talk about my parents. None. Because they did the best they could with what they had. As a matter of fact, so I said I promised you I would tell you the conversation me and my dad had. He read the book. It's why it's dedicated to him. He read the book and was floored by the information. Okay, he was just floored for two reasons. Okay, he was floored for two reasons. And this is his conversation now. Okay, Antonio Theodore Smith Sr. had this conversation with me in row sharing unit in Darrington Unit in Rosharon, Texas. Okay. He says, wow, it was up and down, up and down. I'm reading the book. I'm sweating. I'm crying. I'm doing all these things. And I never knew you went through that stuff. And watch this here. He says, but I knew it. See, I thought when I dropped you off, they would take care of you.
Wow.
And I'm giving you the parent's perspective, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He says, I didn't think about the fact that while I was going through my addiction, well, he's no longer addicted now, obviously, but when I was going through my addiction, it would have an effect on you and an effect on the people not liking what I'm going through and how they would treat you. I'm just telling you what he said. I'm not him. I'm just relaying you the message he said. He said, I love the book. And it showed me two things. Well, he said it showed him three things. Because he's a preacher, so he already got 3 points. So every time he talks. I'm just saying. He's a preacher in prison now, but he's always got 3 points. Every time he talking King James, and he's always got a sermon for you. I promise you. I promise you. And he says, well, I didn't know what you were going through. This blessed me. Let me tell you why all this happened.
Whoa.
So he gives me the other side of the story. 'Cause I only got my side. He says, at this point in your life, let me tell you what was going on. And he just starts giving me all these great details and stuff. Not like throwing people on the table, like, hey, here's what I was thinking in my head. Here's what I was struggling with. Here's why I'm in jail in the first place. I never knew. And he tells me about all these details. I probably need to write a book about just that conversation, right? He tells me all these details that I never knew. And come to find out, I was right the whole time, ladies and gentlemen. He did the best he could with what he had. Come to find out, he was under persecution for what other people thought about him.
Wow.
And he was just reacting, running from the police, running from family, making bad decisions because he was just trying to survive for that day and wasn't thinking about the future. But that sounds like you. You're doing it right now. You doing it. You paying your bills right now, thinking about today, not thinking about the future. We're all doing it. We're all doing it, and at a point in your life, you transcend from it. Fair? I mean, it's completely fair. It's completely fair. So to talk about my parents is idiotic. It's grossly irresponsible. Because they actually taught me every single thing I needed to know by not teaching me. I'm a great father because they were not great parents. I don't let the best I could with what I have stop me because I'm always trying to get more, so the best I could is more than yesterday. But watch it. The second thing he said when reading the book, he was like, and this is the truth. I'm not making this up. Okay? If you think I am, you can write me. I'll give you his address and you can ask him yourself. He says, I view you now in this order as my pastor, my leader, and my son. In that order.
Wow.
In that order. He gave me plenty of details about the story, stuff I'm not going to put on him, right? He's not going to do that at all, right? But a bunch of stuff that he was just going through. And the truth is, he said, and he even vouched for my mom, had any of us understood what it was doing to you, we wouldn't have let it happen. But what parent would? Right? All right. Anything else in the book?
I know for me, the entire book was just a transformational journey.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay because it taught me reading about you as a child and the things that you had to do to survive gave me the thought process of, if a child can do this and I'm able to look at him today and he's teaching me, why can't I?
Fair enough. Let me tell you though, it's cool to write about, but I got the scars. I'm 6 years old, 54 pounds. Like, my youngest son is 6. And all this year, I haven't told him this, but he'll probably hear about it now because I'm saying it in front of thousands of people. I haven't told him this, but every time I look at him, I'm reminded of me being homeless. Like, my youngest son is a frail 6-year-old kid. Mm-hmm. He is. Like, if I punch him in his chest, I might break everything, right? And just, right? But I was getting punched in the chest at 6. I was being molested and raped at 6. Seriously, from 6 to 9, I had 2 people constantly sexually assaulting me because I'm homeless as a 6-year-old kid. So I got the scars. I'm telling you, I got the scars. I got them. How I got out of it, that's when you asked that how earlier. I don't know how, right? I don't. But I can tell you why. Why I got out of it is because I kept saying to myself, got to be more than this. It's got to be. It has to be more than this. Turned out, I was right about that. There was more. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right, they about to cry.
I don't cry for him.
Again, Wild Dreams Publishing has rights to the book. You can click the link and you can go and grab it. It's a great publisher, major publishing company. I'm very proud of everything that they do. Love them to death. It's actually a pretty cool thing. They're pretty good people.
Yes.
Any other questions? Preguntas? Yes.
Well, I know writing the whole book about your life is, I don't want to say it was not fun or whatever, but I don't know the word for it. But was there a favorite part of your life that you like to write about?
I got 2 favorite parts. Well, I'm sorry. One favorite part that I like to write about, and I got a favorite part of the book.
Okay.
So 2 things. Y'all not gonna... My favorite part about writing that book was me describing my trash can that I lived in. And if you go back and read the book, or if you've never read it and you go read the book, if you go read it, I described this trash can like it's the Taj Mahal. I'm serious. Like, you really have to see how I describe this trash can, because y'all don't understand. This was not a bad moment for me. Because I was sleeping. I started off sleeping in the streets. I started off sleeping, and then, now back in the days, now this is 1980s, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't know if you have ever heard the phrase, the doors of the church are always open. Uh-huh. Okay, that used to be literal. Churches didn't lock their doors. No. Churches did not lock their doors. That's where the doors of the churches were really always open.
I thought it was like...
No, this was not a metaphor.
Okay.
This is at least not down here in the South, okay? It's not a metaphor. They did not lock their doors. They did not. Especially Catholic churches. Okay? Catholic and Lutheran churches always never locked their doors. There's always something going on. And when it would rain, I would sleep either right in the foyer of the doors. I remember getting caught one time at a church, and it was a really, really, really nice church. It's on, I can't remember the name of it right now, but I can tell you right where it's at. It's on 39th and K in Galveston, Texas. 39th and K. There's a big green church. They got a daycare in it. Got the daycare in it now. Yeah, it's got the daycare in it now. I got caught in this church, and this really, really nice guy didn't yell at me, didn't think I was stealing. He just, gave me $1 for some donuts, which that don't sound like a lot, but there was this donut place called Kovacevic Bakery in Galveston that if you gave 2 quarters for donuts, He would give you like a dozen donuts. It was crazy. Yeah, it's Kovacevic Bakery. I mean, he just died recently. But I'm just giving you these details because I want you to see the facts in this story, right? Kovacevic Bakery, you literally give him 50 cents, he would give you a dozen donuts. So when this man gave me $1 and told me go to Kovacevic Bakery, which wasn't too, Kovacevic Bakery was on 37th and Broadway. I'm on 39th and K. It's about a 4-block walk. Yeah, it's about a 4-block walk. And I would get there, I eat these donuts, and then, you know, it was crazy, right? And he might as well gave me $1,500, you know. Asked me if I was okay, and then let me be on my way, you know, try to give me some help. You know, so people were nice. You know, I don't want you to think everybody was out there trying to rape and molest a 6-year-old or something like that, right? People were nice about it. But I would go out there, doors of the church were always open. So when I found the trash can, this was mine. Okay. This was prosperity in the middle of poverty. This, I'm telling you, to this day, let me tell you the difference between me and you. To this, see, I don't feel like an American, you know, and I don't mean that to be unpatriotic or disrespectful to anyone, but I wasn't born in America. I was born in poverty. And unless you've been as broke as I have been, there are 2 different Americas, I'm telling you. And poverty was my country. To this day, I get excited. I celebrate about seeing public water fountains. See, you're so privileged, black, white, Jew, or Gentile, that when you see a public water fountain, it's nothing for you. For me, a public water fountain was life for me. I'm talking about the ones with the little kid would put his whole mouth over the water fountain. You know what I'm saying? Do like that there, that we put it completely over the mouth. It was running water. It was clean, and it was always cold, or you just wait a little bit of the thing, condenser could only get cold. The reason why that was a big deal to me is because the only job I had to do was get $1 every day. This is why I know how to make money. Every day I had to find a way to make $1, or $1.08, and that would either be 4 bags of chips or 2 of the grandma cookies that came in 50 cents. It just depended on if I got tired of the chips, I would get the vanilla grandma cookies. You know what I'm talking about? I swear to God, this is the truth. Or I would go to another store on 43rd and Ball. It was this grocery store sitting right in the middle of what we used to call Palm Terrace. It was this grocery store, and I would get 4 moon cookies. This $1 a day. These are my 3 meals. It was either moon cookies, 2 grandma cookies, or the 4 bags of chips. And this is when chips would be 25 cents. You know, they had the little, you know, they ain't like that no more. But it just depends if, because I get eat the same thing. But after I would eat them, I wouldn't be able to afford a drink. I would go to 37th and Broadway in Galveston, Texas, 77550. It used to be this mechanic shop that you would go in there, get your tune up, they lift up your car, but they had a public water fountain that they will always let you go in, and I would eat those cookies, moon cookies or chips, and I would fill my entire stomach up with as much water as I possibly could. I'm talking about an unnecessary amount of water. I'm dead serious. An unnecessary amount of water. I would put that in me and then literally walk to my trash can about half a mile down the road with water sloshing around in my stomach. But it saved my life. To this day, if I see a public water fountain, I have that. It's all over again. I have this grateful experience about how awesome water fountains was for me. Y'all don't think that way because you never had to. You've never been in the position to where you praise and worship for a public water fountain. And that's the difference between, that's how I feel in this world. I am so grateful to be alive that before, oh, you're getting all these things now, you must be grateful. No, I was grateful first. And that's how I got these things. When you go into worship over a water fountain, you know, everybody's going, I'm not going to drink out of that. That was my life. That was me. That's who I am. So when I write about that trash can, You can hear I'm telling you, when y'all read it, you're gonna hear it, like, oh my God, this is so, it's like this oasis of, just milk and honey in the middle of thorns and thistles. That's my favorite. You'll read it. When you read it, you'll see how excited I am to talk about this stupid trash can, right? It's so excited. I'm telling you, you'll see it. When I first introduced that trash can, I'm using words like it's this chocolate, you'll see. I promise you'll see. You'll see. You'll see it, and you can tell I was very excited about that. Lastly, my favorite part of the book is the last chapter. Enjoy the process. I give you everything in that chapter. I tie it all together, but my whole point of that chapter is to take you from where you are and for you to get to where I know you can get to. So that's Keep Walking, ladies and gentlemen. Wild Dreams Publishing. Click the link if you want to go get it. If not, at least you've heard this story, and I'm willing to die for it. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate.